Hello and good evening. This is Doc Severson for the ReadySetCrypto Premium Newsletter Market Update for Tuesday, November 6th. We have everything across the board popping up. This is a big cap rally that we're seeing right now. We're seeing a lot of coins up 5-6% or so, and some of them actually breaking into honest to goodness uptrends on the daily chart. We're starting to see a little bit of a break into higher highs and higher lows. Now, like I said the other day, over the weekend, like let's temper things. There's no point, there's no medal given out for getting the exact bottom tick, but we can start to get ready for these. So one of the first that we can look at is Bitcoin here. Bitcoin has got enough energy now. We've been coiling like crazy for months, it seems, and we should get a big pop from this. Now, is it going to go to the upside? Is it going to go to the downside? Look at the energy on the weekly chart. Massive amounts of energy on the weekly chart, probably even on the monthly chart. Let's take a look here. Monthly chart isn't bad, right? Monthly chart isn't bad. I mean, this is, if we look at this overall, volatility's come down. We could look at this as sort of a kind of a bear flag, or a bull flag, I should say, excuse me. So a bit of a bull flag showing up here on the monthly chart. But let's not get ahead of ourselves here. We may have, normally again, what you'd see with triangles that have a flat bottom is they normally will break to the downside. So what I don't want to get too excited here in that, we load all up and all of a sudden we see a false break and then we pop back down again, which could be the actual opportunity that we're looking for. But I'll do this. We've got an alert come in here just below 6,500. I think if we do break above 6,500 and stay there, then we can start to nibble into a long position on Bitcoin. Now, I'll probably only add 2%. Our portfolio says 10% of our capital for the managed fund needs to be in Bitcoin. But there's no reason we can't add 2% down here and just sort of nibble if we are getting an actual breakout from not only the triangle, but making new highs. Now, when I say making new highs, don't confuse me here. What I'm saying is that we have resistance level up here at about 64.50 or so that the price could not get above. And if it's able to poke above there, then this becomes the old low, old high that we're breaking above. We also have a nice break on Ripple. So Ripple is a nice break. And it looks like we might be able to, so unless this is just going to turn into a massive triangle, and it could do that. But right now we are showing higher lows and higher highs. We are seeing a change in polarity back up to the upside. Now I've got the CHOP index on here. And what we don't want to do is we don't want to chase after something with an exhaustion signal here. So what I'd like to see is whether or not Ripple is going to move into more of a stair-stepping mode. So if it starts to move into stair-stepping mode, and it really has not yet, we haven't seen any kind of linear behavior from Ripple yet to think that it's going to do that. Otherwise, we could just see this fade right back down again. But we do have decent volume. That's good. But at exhaustion, is this going to run into the next consolidation? If it starts to change character into bullish character, which is more stair-stepping mode, then we'll simply wait for the next consolidation to set up, and then we can start to enter that position prior to the breakout. The reason why I would do that is a lot of these are very difficult to catch the actual breakout. So a lot of times they're happening in off hours, and it's just sometimes easier. If you're confident of a pattern, if you have a good read on a pattern, go ahead and enter in the pattern as the energy builds up. The other one I like is Stellar. So Stellar is inside of kind of a big consolidation zone here. And we can see this, even though we have exhaustion on the daily chart, I bet you the weekly chart's going to look really good. And look at that. That is just a massive, massive consolidation on Stellar versus BTC. So I kind of like this. I like the fact that this has a much higher probability of breaking higher from here. So definitely we want to be taking the breakout of this as it gets above this level here. I mean, this is the I think that level is actually like 4,500 Satoshis would be our breakout level on this guy. And there's going to be a ton of energy at the larger time frames. However, when we get down to the smaller time frames, again, what we don't want to be doing is we don't want to be chasing after a breakout move. Now, we can if we want to. We just have to understand that we're going to be entering at a poor time. So if we chase after a breakout move like this, yeah, we'll get in, but more than likely we'll have to live through the consolidation anyway. And if your point of view on these things is in a year or 2 years or 3 years, maybe it just doesn't matter. So you have to decide that for yourself. Again, here would be the breakout level at about 4,500 Satoshis on this one. So it's got to go a little further to break out from the triangle. I just know how retail investors hate to be wrong right off the bat. So I like for you guys to be entering in a position where you almost immediately get into a strong hand. It makes you more confident, makes you relax a little bit. And if you're relaxed, you can appropriately manage a position. You cannot manage a position if you're going to watch every single tick, and every single negative scenario is going to flash through your mind, and you're going to find yourself punching out on a perfectly good trade. I'll finish out today's report talking a little bit about Digitex. So Digitex, through the Malta conference, the Malta blockchain conference, there was a promise of that we'd all see the interface. We'd all see Adam Todd is the CEO of Digitex, and he was to do a demo up on stage. Well, they pretty much told him, no, you can't discuss your own company while you're up on stage. And so he had to give this kind of odd presentation on Ethereum, which left everyone puzzled. And a lot of this was led to some weakness as we got into the conference. And then there was a well-orchestrated FUD campaign. So this is what happens with people, or should I say projects. If someone wants to get into it, perhaps somebody missed out on the pump, right? So somebody missed out on the pump, and what they want to do is they want a chance to get back in. Either that or it's industrial sabotage, right? It's somebody from a competitive company trying to trash them. So what they do is, in social media, they will orchestrate a FUD campaign. And this is a new one on me. I had not heard this term before, but it's actually called a poop and scoop. So what they do is they orchestrate the FUD campaign to get the price to artificially depress down, and they wait until it's down to a support level, and they've got a number of limit orders just sitting down there waiting to be filled. And then what they can do is that they can very quickly, as the supply evaporates and the price goes up, then they can sell into that and provide their own supply for that. Or maybe they can even hold, I don't know. But this is something that we're going to find with markets like this that are a little bit thinner. You're going to see the initial pump and dump, and for coins that have started to get away and are thinly traded, and trust me, most altcoins are thinly traded, you're going to see the poop and scoop from these. So just understand that if you're a long-term holder, don't get shaken out on the volatility for this. It's easy to look at this and say, oh my gosh, I've just been counting my money. I've been counting all my paper profits, and they've all gone away. They've all evaporated. Maybe I should sell out while there's still something left. And I'm sure a few of you did that. And that's human nature, right? That's human nature. But just understand that these markets are going to be a little rough, a little bit thin. And we've got a CEO of a lot of these companies, frankly, that are a little bit of a loose cannon. And you're going to see volatility from these. So you have to, what I always say is rule number one of risk management is you have to define your exits before you enter the position. So a lot of people entering the position would say, oh yeah, well, I'm not going to sell this thing out. And all of a sudden you see this flood of red candles coming in and you're like, wait, where's it going? Sell. And you can't do that. You've got to make up your mind ahead of time what your approach is going to be. Rule number one, risk management. Set your exits before you enter the trade. Okay, guys, that is it for today's report. Thanks for listening. May the prices continue higher. See you tomorrow.